Bonjour, my name is Pierre Baron de Coubertin, and I know everything about the Olympics. Really. For example, do you know why there are so many swimming events? I do. It all started in 1844 in London. In that year, the annual swimming competition took place, and for the first time, two Native Americans competed. They were called Flying Gull and Tobacco. I think it was because the English wanted to show that they were the best swimmers in the whole world. But, surprise, surprise! Flying Gull won easily, and Tobacco finished second in spite of his obvious smoking habits. The audience was flabbergasted. The British were humiliated. How could this be? Well, the reason was very simple. The British swam the highly inefficient breaststroke, while the Native Americans swam a front crawl. Swiftly, the proud British Swimming Society issued a statement. Flying Gull's way of swimming produced too much splashing, so it was wrong, un-European, and barbaric. And from that moment on, there were two ways of swimming. The wrong and barbaric freestyle, and the right way, the breaststroke. 30 years later, an Englishman called John Arthur Trunnion reintroduced the front crawl in England, and suddenly it was okay to swim freestyle. But because of what happened in 1844, people also kept swimming the breaststroke. So during the first few modern Olympics, both freestyle and breaststroke were programmed. There were also some very strange events like underwater swimming, which people did not like because of the lack of spectacle. And just like today, the breaststroke was very inefficient, slow, and definitely less sexy than freestyle. Let's be honest, if Johnny Weissmuller had won the Olympic 100 meters in breaststroke instead of in freestyle, he would have never gotten the role of Tarzan. He probably wouldn't have even been able to escape the alligators. Because the breaststroke was slow, all kinds of people started fiddling with this technique, especially people from the University of Iowa. There was this guy called Jack Sieg who introduced the dolphin kick, and David Armbruster who experimented with bringing the arms forward over the water. It all became very confusing. You never knew what was allowed, who was going to win, and with what technique. A decision had to be made. So, the wise people of the International Swimming Association took a long, hard look at those techniques and introduced the butterfly stroke. Now there were 3 ways of swimming, not counting the backstroke, of course, because that is something for people who like to look at the sky when swimming. One thing led to another. Creative minds lobbied with not-so-talented swimmers for the medley, and this all resulted in a lot of events and long days in the swimming pool. But because there were so many golden medals to win, it also created legends like Mark Spitz, Mark Bondi, Natalie Coughlin, and of course, Michael Phelps, the Baltimore Bullet. With 8 golden medals in Beijing, he became the greatest Olympic athlete of all time. But he did win 5 medals on a butterfly event. So let's look at this again. If Flying Gull would have been more polite and had chosen not to humiliate the proud English, then the English would have discovered the freestyle themselves. And then the breaststroke would have never become Olympic. And no Olympic breaststroke would have meant no butterfly stroke either. Because a butterfly is nothing more than a mutant of the breaststroke created by people who do not like to play by the rules. And no butterfly would have meant only 3 medals in Beijing for Phelps. So I guess every night before he goes to sleep, Michael Phelps thanks Flying Gull in his prayers. Or so he should. Do you want to know everything about the Olympics? Go to www.pianos.com. Really.